As you can see, I have my paper ready. I also cut a few pieces of cardboard that I have ready as well. So nearby, I have paint and a paintbrush. As I said before, if you don't have paint, don't worry about that. You can use some other materials. So I have my paint set like the ones you guys have seen in class here. I have a paintbrush. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my brush ready so you guys know how to clean it out, tap it out and everything, get rid of the extra water. The cardboard has some texture to it. If I hold it up here close, you guys can see. This edge looks a little different than this edge, so I can get different effects from using the cardboard different ways. So I'm going to take some black paint. So to start with, you're just going to use black, and I'm going to paint that along the edge of the cardboard here. So as I paint that, I want to work fast because I want this to stay wet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a place somewhere on my paper, and I'm going to take the cardboard and I'm going to press it down. Because it has texture, that actually is going to print that line on there. So now I have a line. Well, I don't think I would call that a finished piece of artwork all by itself. What I want you to do is I want you to choose a place to put a second line. So you're going to want to load the edge of your cardboard again. Now if you cut two pieces that you have ready, you could use the other piece. You could even turn your cardboard and use a different side. So I'm just going to use the same one for now. So I think it would look interesting to put a line here. Now, you should have done two lines. So if you need to pause the video to catch up to me, hit pause, do your second line. If you're ready, what we're going to do now is you're going to do a third line, but I'm going to give you a new rule to follow. So I'm getting some paint ready and getting my cardboard ready. And actually, for those of you that don't have paint available, I'm going to show you an alternative. So let's say you don't have paint, but you have some markers or maybe some crayons. So you're going to put a third line on here, but the new rule is going to be the third line somehow has to touch one of the other lines. So if I say, okay, well, I'm going to put it so that it touches right here. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to use the cardboard kind of like I would use a ruler, and I'm going to trace the edge of it. So I'm going to hold it really still, and then I'm going to trace the edge of it with the marker. That gives me a line as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep putting lines on here, but my new rule is that the third line had to touch. So now I'm going to do a fourth line, and the rule still applies that the new line should touch one of the old ones. But if you're really watching, what might happen is I might even say, okay, well, I'm going to make it so that this new line touches one of my lines here, but another line here. Now when I do that, I can see that something's trying to happen. This line is connected to these other lines, and I have this space in here. And if I go ahead and I print a new line, what's going to happen is I'm going to make it touch there. So what happens is these lines are closed off. So they're touching now. So if I look inside here, this isn't just a line anymore. This is a space trapped inside. So this, even though I don't know what kind it is, I can call that a shape because I have these lines that are connected. If I look over here, these lines are connected. They made a shape. That one I recognize, and you guys recognize that too. Yes, it is a triangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be printing more lines as I keep going. So I want you guys to get ready with your materials, and I want you to start printing your lines. Follow the rules I gave you. 1, then 2, but the third line, that's the first one that needs to touch some of the other lines.